It is time. It is time to go travel the world again. Maybe you've been cooped up the last couple years. Maybe you're just in a rut. World travel can change all that. It will help you open up a new chapter. It will change your perspective and help you think differently about yourself and others. So let's get started.
We're John and Bev, and we are the Retirement Travelers. Today's video is 10 travel tips and travel concepts that have changed our lives in retirement. While we're not advocating that you sell everything and go travel the world, we are advocating and hopefully inspiring you to get out and take a journey of your own, wherever that may be. So today's video, we're going to go through 10 ideas that we have about travel and how it's changed us, and we hope it changes you too.
So first, let's dust off that bucket list and pick a place. Number one is pick a place. Now, not any place. Now, there are some stipulations here. We want you to travel abroad, go somewhere you've never been before, preferably someplace that speaks a different language. Try to get a different experience with this. And also, don't pick a touristy place like a Rome or Paris that everyone goes to. Try to have a little sense of adventure and we were told don't go to Guatemala. We had a fantastic experience there. So pick some place a little unusual that you can get that sense of adventure, put it on the calendar and start the planning process now.
Number two is take the first step. And the first step involves getting on an airplane and landing in a faraway land, a land you may not speak the language and you may not know where to go and what to do. But there is a system in every airport, and this is kind of a hard thing to overcome, but it is so doable and you'll do great at it. You will have to get through customs, you might have to get some money from an ATM, and then you're off and running. You will find a taxi, you will find a bus, or you'll walk or whatever to get to your hotel. But that is kind of the hardest thing you're going to encounter on your trip. So get out there, take the first step, look at yourself in the mirror when you get to the hotel and say, okay, I did it. They said it was the first hardest thing to do, and you will have some new confidence on your journey and you can do this.
Number three is savor the flavors. Now, you knew with me talking, if you've watched this channel, there had to be food involved. But food is one of the best ways to learn about the cultures of the world. So we are saying do not go eat at McDonald's or KFC when you go to a foreign country. Try to pick some foods that are very authentic to that area and go try them. Go to an authentic restaurant and try as many of the different foods. It kind of gives you an appreciation of how they live their lives and what they eat. Go to the grocery stores and find out, the local markets. Eat some of the street food. Okay, some of the best food meals we've had anywhere have been street food around the world. So go try the local foods, really embrace that, and you'll be really pleased in the end.
Number four is meet other people. Don't be shy. Introduce yourself to people. Meet the locals. Meet fellow travelers. Our life experience of travel has been so much richer because we have not been shy and we've introduced ourselves. Of course, we wear these crazy shirts and people come up to us and they introduce themselves to us, and we love that. There is not anything better in our travels than the people that we meet. But we have met other travelers and have sat down and had dinner with them, or maybe we've shared a train ride with someone who recently we shared a train ride with a doctor that was from the US, but he had grown up in Romania and he was from here. He had family, he was coming back to visit them, and he even diagnosed us a little bit. I think we kind of used that moment. But nevertheless, we've had some great experiences. And when we think back about our travels and how travel has changed us, it's because of the people we've met. That's a big part of why we travel, and it is the thing that has enriched our journey.
Number five is expand your perspective and observe that there's different ways to do things. We're used to one way of life in the United States, and it's not like that all around the world. But we have learned so much just by observing. I mean, there is life after drive-thrus, believe it or not. We don't have a car, and we've not been through a drive-thru in about 8 months. And guess what? We have survived. We've even started embracing this afternoon siesta thing. Now,
little too much.
I'm not sure about the 10 o'clock meals at night, but people do things differently and they do them for different reasons, and it's within their culture. So we really try to, when we go somewhere, understand and notice and be observant of these differences. I like to always run to the highest point in the city. I love when they have overlooks. You can just kind of go up there and take a look around and observe, the whole area. It's take a different view of life and cultures and customs, and you'll be amazed at how it changes your perspective.
Number 6 is surround yourself with art. And what we really mean is surround yourself with color and expression. When you're in Paris, go to the ballet. When you're in Vienna, go to the opera. When you're walking down the sidewalk of Columbia, stop and watch the street performers. They are so talented, but people have so much to say and they want to express themselves. So observe that and take it in and take the time to do that. No matter where you go, what museum you go to, you will be blessed by having a different perspective on life, and it will help you maybe think differently when you go back home about your own expression and how you want to be a voice for someone else. So embrace your creative side and get out there and see what everybody else is doing. It's a really great part of travel for us.
Number 7 is walk everywhere. Now, we were probably guilty when we were living in the U.S. of, going to the gym to work out, but taking our car over there. Since we've been on this trip, we truly do walk everywhere. We don't think twice about a 30 or 45-minute walk to somewhere. It's been great exercise, and it's really done a couple things. It gets you in the habit of a good fitness program, and secondly, it gets you out there on the streets where you get to observe and see people, how they dress, what they do, how they drive, what the stores are like. It's really a great experience to see a different perspective versus being in a taxi or bus all the time. Walk if you possibly can. We take the stairs. We like to climb towers. Anything we can do to stay active. And we really believe that this can be a great springboard for, if you do this lifestyle of walking while you're traveling, when you go back home, you'll be more used to walking, and hopefully you can stay more fit the rest of your life.
Number 8 is shake it off. Things are going to happen to you. You are probably going to get scammed or overcharged, or maybe you'll lock your keys out of your Airbnb like
we've done all those things.
All of those things have happened to us, and we've taken wrong turns. We've gotten lost. We have gotten confused. We have been in every situation that we needed to learn how to shake things off. And world travel has helped us to do that. We still get flustered, but it is something that will happen. Things will go wrong, and you can get through it. So even if someone takes your wallet, just move on. Figure out how to keep yourself safe, but things are going to happen to you. So move on with life and shake it off.
Number 9 is travel keeps your mind sharp. We have learned so much on this as when you're trip planning and just visiting new cities. Take every opportunity to learn as many things as you can. And one of the things we've learned is how little we knew. I mean, we have come here to Romania, for example, and we had really no concept of the revolution back in 1989 when they escaped from communism. But there are reminders of that all over this country. So we have read up on it. We've gone to the museums, and it's been quite interesting to see all of that over here. So, as you age, it's really important to keep learning new things and keeping your mind sharp. And we really cannot think of a better way to do that than world travel.
Number 10 is visit churches and cemeteries. And we don't just mean Christian churches, we mean temples, and we mean mosque, and we mean all of those kinds of things. Learn about the other culture's faith. when you're traveling. And this is such a rewarding thing. One of the things we like to do is visit cemeteries, and you can see and learn about someone's faith by walking through their cemetery. It is kind of a dark thing to think about doing, but it's very, very interesting. Everywhere we go, we like to go check out this local cemetery. We can see people who are tending to the graves or leaving offerings or things like that in those places, and it's very, very interesting. So it also reminds us of our own faith and our own families and those that we love. So as you travel, embrace that side of travel and a culture, and get out there and see those places as well.
So in conclusion, we just want to remind you that people are people all over the world. We could not have done this trip without the kindness and consideration of people from all over the world. And it doesn't even mean that they speak the same language. You know, sometimes a smile is universal. So I want to tell a quick story from our trip to China a few years ago. I was out running early in the morning, and there was an elderly gentleman with very few teeth. He was on a bicycle pulling a cart behind him, and I was running along on the sidewalk, and he pulls up and he passes me up, and he gives me a glance with a big smile, and he passed me. Well, I took that as a challenge, so I sped up and ran past him and looked over and gave him the same glance and the smile, and he got the biggest smile on his face, and then he went and passed me again. But it's those little interactions and the smiles that you remember for years, and those are the kind of opportunities you get when you travel the world. So hopefully some of the tips and concepts we mentioned today, resonated with you, and you will get out the door, you will pick that place, and you'll be on your way to traveling an adventure around the world.